Welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of rare coins or just love hearing about unbelievable finds, today's video is for you. We're diving into the world of the 1972 Washington quarter dollar, a coin you may have sitting in your collection or even your pocket right now that could be worth a small fortune, or even millions of dollars. Rarest coins. You're probably thinking, a quarter from 1972? That can't be worth much. Well, think again. There's more to this coin than meets the eye, and today we're going to show you exactly what to look for and how a simple 1972 quarter could change your life. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more exciting coin discoveries like this one. Let's begin with a little history. The 1972 Washington quarter dollar, featuring a portrait of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, is part of the regular series of Washington quarters that have been minted since 1932. The 1972 issue is relatively common, and most of the coins you'll find are made from a copper nickel-clad composition, a pretty standard for most modern quarters. But here's where things get interesting. While most of these coins are worth just 25 cents, a very small number of them have characteristics that make them worth far more, potentially millions of dollars. So, what makes some of these 1972 quarters special? Rarest coins. The 1972 Washington quarter became infamous because of a rare minting error, the infamous 1972 double die obverse. This error occurred during the minting process, when the coin's obverse, the side with George Washington's portrait, was struck twice by the die. This caused certain details, like the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," to appear doubled. If you look closely at the double die variety, you'll notice a noticeable shift in the text. The letters look thicker, split, or doubled. The doubling effect can be seen in several areas, including the date and inscription. In some cases, it's more pronounced, but in other cases, it can be subtle, making it easy for the untrained eye to miss. This doubled effect isn't unique to just one coin. It affected a significant number of 1972 quarters. However, finding one with strong, clear doubling can make it worth substantially more than the average coin in circulation. Rarest coins. Now that we know what makes these coins valuable, how do you identify a 1972 double die obverse quarter? It's not as hard as you might think. Here are the key features to look for. 1. Double date. The most prominent feature is the doubling of the date. Take a close look at the 1972 on the coin. If you see the numbers clearly doubled, it's a good indication you've got a double die coin. 2. Doubling in the inscriptions. The words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" should also show doubling, especially on the top part of the letters. The L in Liberty and T in Trusted are common areas where doubling occurs. 3. Clear doubling in the eagle's wing. On the reverse of the coin, you may also notice the eagle's wing or feathers showing signs of doubling, though this is less common than the obverse doubling. So, grab your magnifying glass and start looking closely at your 1972 quarters, especially if you've got a handful of them from your pocket change, or you've got some old rolls of quarters lying around from the 1970s. Okay, let's get to the exciting part. How much is the 1972 double die obverse quarter worth? Well, that depends on a few factors: the condition of the coin, how clear the doubling is, and how much collectors are willing to pay at any given time. In good condition, if you've got a 1972 double die in just average condition, rarest coins, it could. Welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare coins. If you're a coin collector, an investor, or just someone who loves a good story about hidden treasures, you're going to want to stick around. Rarest coins today. We're talking about a coin that may be sitting in your pocket right now at the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. But this isn't just any old coin. We're talking about a variety of these quarters that could be worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, millions. Rarest coins. So, if you've ever wondered why some 1965 quarters are so valuable, how to spot them, and what makes them so special, this video will answer all your questions. But first, Make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up if you love discovering hidden gems in the world of numismatics. Let's start with a quick refresher. The Washington quarter dollar, featuring George Washington's profile, has been in circulation since 1932. By 1965, the design had been well established, but the production process was about to go through a major change. You see, most quarters from the early 20th century were made using 90% silver, which gave them a shiny, attractive appearance and significant value. But in 1965, the U.S. government made a dramatic decision to remove silver from the quarter and replace it with a copper-nickel composition due to rising silver prices and a shortage. The 1965 Washington quarter was the first year of this new composition. It's often thought of as a transitional coin, marking the shift from silver to clad, copper-nickel, coins. Most 1965 quarters are just ordinary, everyday pieces worth face value, 25 cents, but hidden among the millions of these quarters minted, there's a very rare and unique variety that could be worth a small fortune. Rarest coins. Here's where things get interesting. While most 1965 quarters are made from a copper-nickel clad, a very small number were accidentally struck using silver plan case, left over from the previous year's production. These quarters were made with 90% silver, just like the older versions, and the mistake went unnoticed at the time. But here's the kicker, these 1965 silver quarters are worth much more than face value. In fact, depending on their condition and rarity, these silver quarters can fetch anywhere from hundreds to thousands, and in some rare cases, even millions of dollars. Now, the question is how can you tell if you have one of these rare silver 1965 quarters? Let's take a closer look. Identifying a rare 1965 silver quarter is relatively simple, but you need to know exactly what to look for. The key indicator is the weight. A standard 1965 copper-nickel clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, but the silver variety, made with 90% silver, weighs more around 6.25 grams. So, the first thing you'll want to do is grab a precise scale to weigh your coin. If it's 6.25 grams, you could be holding something worth a small fortune. Rarest coins. Another way to check is by using a magnet. The copper-nickel clad quarter will not react to the magnet, but the silver quarter will. If your coin is magnetic, it's likely a regular clad quarter. But if it's not, there's a chance you've got a rare silver one. Rarest coins. If your 1965 quarter passes both the weight and magnet test, congratulations! You may just have discovered a rare coin that could be worth significantly more than the 25 cents it's stamped with. Now, let's talk about how much these rare 1965 silver quarters can actually be worth. The market value for these coins varies greatly depending on their condition. A 1965 silver quarter in good condition might be worth anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000, but the real jackpot lies in coins that are in mint or uncirculated condition. These rare beauties have sold at auction for up to $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1 million. In fact, the most expensive 1965 silver quarter ever sold. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you've ever dreamed of finding a coin worth a small fortune, you're in for a real treat today. In this video, we're going to explore the 1996p Washington quarter dollar, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but could actually be worth millions if you know what to look for. Yes, you heard that right, a simple quarter from 1996, minted in Philadelphia, with the P mint mark, could be sitting in your collection, ready to make you a millionaire. Stick around to learn everything you need to know about why this coin is so valuable, how to identify it, and where you can potentially sell it for top dollar. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more incredible finds like this one. Rarest coins. Let's start with a little background on the 1996p Washington quarter dollar. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and it's been in circulation ever since. By 1996, The design had remained largely the same, featuring George Washington's portrait on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it bears the P mint mark A, and it's one of the most commonly circulated quarters from the 1990s. In 1996, over 1 billion quarters were produced, and most of them are still in circulation today, meaning that they're worth only their face value of 25 cents. Nothing too special, right? But here's the catch. A few of these 1996p quarters were struck with a very rare and valuable error that would make them worth far more than the usual 25 cents. It's this error that makes the 1996p Washington quarter a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. And believe it or not, we're talking about coins worth millions of dollars. So, what's the big deal with the 1996p Washington quarter? Well, it all comes down to a rare minting error known as the double die obverse. This is one of the most coveted and valuable types of error coins in the world, and it occurred when the coin die was improperly aligned during the minting process. As a result, the details on the obverse A, including the inscriptions and the date appear doubled, making it a unique and extremely rare coin. If you compare the normal 1996p Washington quarter to the double die version, you'll notice that the date 1996, the word liberty, and the phrase "In God We Trust" all appear with the noticeable shift, almost as if they've been stamped twice. The doubling effect can vary from coin to coin, but in some cases, it's very dramatic. This error wasn't intentional. It was a mistake during the minting process, but it created one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in modern U.S. numismatics. Rarest coins. Now, you might be wondering, how do I spot a 1996p double die Washington quarter? It's actually pretty straightforward once you know what to look for. Here are the key things to check. 1. The date. The most obvious sign of a double die quarter is in the date. If you see that the 1996 appears double day with each number showing a second shadow or shift, you've probably got a valuable coin on your hands. The doubling can range from subtle to very clear. 2. The inscription Liberty. Another common spot for doubling is the word Liberty. Check the letters carefully. Do they look thicker or doubled, especially around the top or side of the letters? If so, it's a potential double die. 3. In God We Trust. This is another area where doubling can appear, particularly in the letter G and the T. If you notice the letters are noticeably split or have an extra shadow, that's a good indicator of a double die error. 4. The edge of the coin. In some cases, the doubling can also appear on the edge of the coin, though this is less common. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Have you ever looked through your coin jar or change purse and wondered if there might be a hidden gem worth a small fortune? Well, today might just be your lucky day, because we're going to explore the 1985d Washington quarter dollar, a coin from the 1980s that might look ordinary at first glance, but could actually be worth millions of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, millions. It's a coin that, if you know what to look for, could turn your pocket change into a valuable collector's item. Stick around as we dive deep into what makes the 1985d Washington quarter so special, how you can identify the rare varieties that can be worth a fortune, and where you can sell them for top dollar. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more exciting discoveries like this. Rarest coins. Let's start with the basics. The 1985d Washington quarter is part of the regular series of U.S. quarters minted since 1932. These quarters feature the classic design of George Washington on the obverse, with an eagle on the reverse. The D mint mark tells us that this coin was minted in Denver, Colorado, and this is a critical detail because it differentiates it from other years and mint marks. The 1985d quarter was part of the regular production run, which means that millions of these coins were minted daily, approximately 600 million of them, to be exact. Most of them circulated and are worth only 25 cents today. So, what makes some of these 1985d quarters so valuable? Well, It's all about a rare and unusual error that only a small number of these coins possess. Here's where things get interesting. Among the millions of 1985D quarters minted, a few of them have a rare D overmint mark error, which means the D mint mark was struck over another D mint mark, creating a double D effect. This mistake occurred when the minting die used to strike the quarters was improperly aligned, and the result was a visible D error on the coin. If you look closely at the mint mark on a standard 1985D quarter, you'll see a clear, singular D mint mark. But on the 1985D error quarter, you'll notice that the mint mark is doubled, with the faint secondary D overlapping the main mint mark. This error is sometimes referred to as a repunched mint mark, and it is one of the most desirable varieties for coin collectors. This overmint mark error was made on only a very small number of 1985D quarters, which is what makes it so rare and valuable. But how valuable are these D error quarters? Let's take a look at the market value. $2 million rarest coins. Now, let's get to the exciting part. How much can a 1985D overmint mark quarter actually be worth? The value of these error coins depends largely on their condition and the severity of the mint mark doubling. In average condition, a typical 1985D overmint mark error in average condition, say, a coin that's been in circulation for a while but still shows the double mint mark clearly, can be worth anywhere from $200 to $500. Not bad for a coin that's only worth 25 cents at face value. In better condition, if your 1985D quarter is in better condition, with clear doubling and minimal wear, and could fetch anywhere from $500 to $1,000 or more. Coins in these conditions are highly sought after by collectors, and prices can increase depending on demand. In mint state condition, if you're lucky enough to have a 1985D error in mint state, meaning it's almost in perfect condition with sharp details and clear doubling, this coin could be worth $2,000 to $5,000 or more. Top quality specimens. For the best examples, especially those with incredibly strong, obvious doubling, the price can go up significantly. Some of these coins have sold at auction for $10,000 or more, depending on the condition and the demand at the time of sale. Rarest coins. And let's not forget, these are. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Have you ever wondered if your pocket change could turn into a small fortune? Well, today, we're about to dive into one of the most exciting finds in modern numismatics, the 1981p Washington quarter. At first glance, this quarter may seem like just another coin from the early 80s, but what if I told you that this coin could be worth millions of dollars? Sounds unbelievable, right? Stick around, because today we're going to uncover the fascinating story behind the 1981p Washington quarter, why it's considered one of the most valuable coins for collectors, and how you might have one sitting in your collection right now. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss out on more incredible discoveries like this one. Rarest coins. Let's start with the basics. The 1981p Washington quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which first debuted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin has undergone several design changes over the years, but it's remained a staple in U.S. coinage ever since. The 1981p Washington quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse, and on the reverse, you have an eagle perched on a branch. It was minted in Philadelphia, as indicated by the P mint mark on the reverse. In total, over 600 million of those quarters were produced in 1981, making them one of the most common coins from that year. So, why would one of these be worth millions of dollars? Well, it comes down to something very specific that makes a small number of these 1981p quarters incredibly rare and valuable. The secret behind the 1981p Washington quarter's value lies in a very rare minting error that happened when the coin was struck. Most 1981p quarters were struck correctly, but some coins experience an unusual error known as a double die or double strike error. Rarest coins. On these error coins, you'll notice that the coin's design appears doubled, particularly on the date, the word Liberty, and even the mint mark. This doubling effect occurs when the coin die that strikes the blank plankett gets misaligned or gets struck twice during the minting process. The result, a doubled image A and sometimes even a misplaced mint mark A that makes these coins highly sought after. It's important to note that these double die or double strike errors are incredibly rare, and only a small percentage of the 1981p Washington quarters feature this error. The coins with visible doubling on the date and inscription are worth significantly more than regular 1981p quarters. So, how can you identify if you have a valuable 1981p double die quarter? Let's break it down so you know exactly what to look for. 1. Check the date. The first and most obvious place to look is the date. On a normal 1981p quarter, the 1981 should be crisp and clear, but on a double die error coin, you'll see the numbers appear doubled. The doubling will often be noticeable on the top left or bottom right of each digit. 2. Look at the word Liberty. The next place to check is the word Liberty above Washington's head. If you see the letters are doubled or have a shadow-like appearance, that's another sign you might have a rare error coin. Rarest coins. 3. Examine the mint mark. On some of the double die error coins, the P mint mark might also appear doubled. This can happen when the mint dies are misaligned. Check the mint mark closely to see if there's a clear second P or a shadowy, offset version next to the original. 4. Obverse versus reverse. While most of the doubling appears on the obverse, front, of the coin, occasionally you might find slight doubling on the reverse, as well. This is more rare, but worth checking. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Have you ever wondered if your pocket change could be worth a fortune? Well, today, we've got a jaw-dropping find to talk about, the 1995p Washington quarter. At first glance, this coin may look just like any other quarter, but there's a secret hidden in the details that could make it worth millions. Rarest coins. That's right, the 1995p Washington quarter could be worth more than you ever imagined. Stick around because, in this video, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating story behind this coin, what makes it so valuable, and how you could find one yourself that could change your life. But first, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest coin discoveries. Let's start with the basics. The 1995p Washington quarter was part of the regular series of quarters produced by the U.S. Mint. This design, featuring George Washington on the obverse, front, and an eagle on the reverse, back, has been in circulation since 1932. The P mint mark on the reverse indicates that this coin was minted in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In 1995, over 1 billion of these quarters were struck. So why would one of them be worth anything special? Well, here's the catch. While most of the 1995p quarters are perfectly normal and worth just 25 cents, a small number of them have a very rare minting error that makes them incredibly valuable. So, let's take a closer look at what makes some 1995p quarters so unique. Rarest coins. The secret behind the value of the 1995p Washington quarter lies in a very rare error called a double die. This error occurs when the coin die used to strike the coin becomes misaligned during the minting process, leading to the design being struck multiple times. As a result, the coin features a doubled image, most often seen on the date and the inscriptions on the coin. Rarest coins. In the case of the 1995p Washington quarter, the double die error is visible in the date, the word and sometimes even the mint mark. The doubling appears as if the text or number has a shadow or double outline, and it's often most noticeable when looking at the top or bottom of the letters and digits. This error occurs when the coin die strikes the plankett, blank metal disc, more than once, causing the details to overlap. This double die error is extremely rare, and most 1995p Washington quarters are struck with a single die, meaning the doubling is barely noticeable, if at all. But for the few rare specimens that feature a strong double die error, these coins become highly coveted by collectors. And that's where the value comes in. So, how can you identify if you've found a 1995p double die Washington quarter? Well, there are a few key features to look for. Let's break it down so you can spot the value in your own collection. 1. Look for the date. The first place to check is the date. On a regular 1995p quarter, the 1995 should be crisp and clear, but on a double die quarter, you'll see that the numbers are doubled. The doubling will often appear at the top or bottom of the digits. For example, you might see a faint shadow of the 1, 9, 5, or 5 offset to the right or left of the main number. Rarest coins. 2. Examine the word next. Take a close look at the word above George Washington's head. If you notice the letters appearing doubled or with shadow-like effects, that's a sign of the double die error. You might see the top or bottom of the letters L, I, B, E, R, T, and Y duplicated or blurred, indicating the error. 3. Check the mint mark. Though less common, sometimes the mint mark, the P on the reverse, can also show signs of doubling. The double P mint mark is less noticeable than the doubling on the date or liberty, but it's still worth checking. 4. Use a magnifying glass or loupe. This is the most important tip. While the doubling. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you've ever found a coin that looks a little different from the rest and wondered if it could be worth a small fortune, you're in the right place today. We're talking about a particular coin that might just be sitting in your collection or even your pocket right now. The 1997d Washington quarter. At first glance, this may seem like just another quarter from the 1990s, but if you look a little closer, you could be holding onto a coin that might be worth millions. That's right, some of these 1997d Washington quarters have a rare error that makes them one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic world. In today's video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about the 1997d Washington quarter, what makes it so special, how to identify the rare error, and what it could be worth. Stick around, because you could be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. Before we get started, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more coin discoveries that could change your life. Let's start with the basics. The 1997d Washington quarter is part of the regular issue of quarters released by the U.S. Mint in that year. It features the well-known design of George Washington on the obverse, front, and a bald eagle on the reverse, as part of the traditional Washington quarter series that began in 1932. The D mint mark tells us that this particular quarter was minted at the Denver Mint. In 1997, over 900 million of those quarters were produced, a large number, which typically means the coin is relatively common. But here's where things get interesting. Among those 900 million coins, a very small number have a rare minting error that makes them incredibly valuable to collectors. So, let's dive into that rare error and see what makes the 1997d Washington quarter worth so much. Rarest coins. The key to the 1997d Washington quarter's value lies in a rare minting error called a double die. This error occurs during the production process when a coin die strikes the plankett, the blank metal disc, more than once. The result, a doubled image, where certain parts of the design on the coin appear blurred, shifted, or repeated. For the 1997d Washington quarter, the double die error is typically seen in the date and the inscription Liberty on the obverse, but it can also appear on other parts of the coin, such as the word In God We Trust. The doubling can be very subtle, but with a trained eye and a magnifying glass, you can spot it easily. This error happens when the die, after striking the plankett, doesn't properly align for the second strike, leading to the double details. It's important to note that the doubling is often seen more pronounced on the date and the word Liberty, making those areas particularly valuable to collectors. In some cases, the mint mark itself, which is the D on the reverse, can also show signs of doubling, making these quarters even rarer. Now, the big question: how can you identify a 1997d Washington quarter with the double die error? It can be tricky, but here's what you need to look for. 1. Check the date. The first and easiest place to look is the date on the obverse. On a normal 1997D quarter, the 1997 should appear as clean, crisp numbers. However, on a double-die quarter, you'll notice that the numbers are doubled, usually at the top or bottom of each digit. The doubling will often create a shadow effect or a blurred duplicate image of each number. 2. Look at the word. Rarest coins is another key area to inspect. On a regular coin, it's simply Liberty, but on a double-die error coin, the letters will show signs of doubling. The top or bottom parts of each letter may be shifted or doubled, so be sure to closely examine each letter in the word. 3. Examine in God we trust, in some case. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Have you ever wondered if your pocket change could be worth a fortune? Well, today, we've got a jaw-dropping find to talk about, the 1995p Washington quarter. At first glance, this coin may look just like any other quarter, but there's a secret hidden in the details that could make it worth millions. That's right, the 1995p Washington quarter could be worth more than you ever imagined. Stick around because, in this video, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating story behind this coin, what makes it so valuable, and how you could find one yourself that could change your life. But first, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest coin discoveries. Let's start with the basics. The 1995p Washington quarter was part of the regular series of quarters produced by the U.S. Mint. This design, featuring George Washington on the obverse, front, and an eagle on the reverse, back, has been in circulation since 1932. The P mint mark on the reverse indicates that this coin was minted in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In 1995, over 1 billion of these quarters were struck. So why would one of them be worth anything special? Well, here's the catch. While most of the 1995p quarters are perfectly normal and worth just 25 cents, a small number of them have a very rare minting error that makes them incredibly valuable. So, let's take a closer look at what makes some 1995p quarters so unique. The secret behind the value of the 1995p Washington quarter lies in a very rare error called a double die. This error occurs when the coin die used to strike the coin becomes misaligned during the minting process, leading to the design being struck multiple times. As a result, the coin features a doubled image, most often seen on the date and the inscriptions on the coin. In the case of the 1995p Washington quarter, the double die error is visible in the date, the word Liberty, and sometimes even the mint mark. The doubling appears as if the text or number has a shadow or double outline, and it's often most noticeable when looking at the top or bottom of the letters and digits. This error occurs when the coin die strikes the plankett, blank metal disc, more than once, causing the details to overlap. This double die error is extremely rare, and most 1995p Washington quarters are struck with a single die, meaning the doubling is barely noticeable, if at all. But for the few rare specimens that feature a strong double die error, these coins become highly coveted by collectors. And that's where the value comes in. Rarest coins. So, how can you identify if you've found a 1995p double die Washington quarter? Well, there are a few key features to look for. Let's break it down so you can spot the value in your own collection. 1. Look for the date. The first place to check is the date. On a regular 1995p quarter, the 1995 should be crisp and clear, but on a double die quarter, you'll see that the numbers are doubled. The doubling will often appear at the top or bottom of the digits. For example, you might see a faint shadow of the 1, 9, 5, or 5 offset to the right or left of the main number. 2. Examine the word Liberty. Next, take a close look at the word Liberty above George Washington's head. If you notice the letters appearing doubled or with shadow-like effects, that's a sign of the double die error. You might see the top or bottom of the letters L, I, B, E, R, T, and Y duplicated or blurred, indicating the error. Rarest coins. 3. Check the mint mark. Though less common, sometimes the mint mark, the P on the reverse, can also show signs of doubling. The doubled P mint mark is less noticeable than the doubling on the date or Liberty, but it's still worth checking. 4. Use a magnifying glass or loupe. This is the most important tip. While the Dublin. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you're a fan of rare coins, today's video is going to blow your mind. We're talking about a 1988p Washington quarter dollar. Yes, you heard that right. A coin from 1988 that could be worth millions of dollars. You might be wondering, how is that possible? Well, stick around, because we're about to uncover the hidden secrets of this incredible coin. Now, we all know that most Washington quarters from the 80s are worth just 25 cents. Say that's their face value. But there's a rare error that's been discovered on certain 1988p quarters that makes them incredibly valuable. We'll be diving into everything you need to know about this coin, what makes it so special, and how you can identify if you've got one that's worth a fortune. So, grab your magnifying glasses, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself holding onto a coin worth far more than you thought. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more amazing coin discoveries. Let's begin with the basics. The 1988p Washington quarter is part of the regular coinage issued by the U.S. Mint that year. On the obverse, you'll find the iconic image of George Washington, the first president of the United States, designed by John Flanagan. On the reverse, there's the eagle, which is the traditional design for the Washington quarter series that began in 1932. The P Mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1988, the U.S. Mint produced nearly 700 million Washington quarters, so typically, a 1988p quarter isn't anything out of the ordinary. But here's where things get interesting. A rare error has been discovered on a very small percentage of these coins, making some of them worth thousands, even millions. Rarest coins. So, what makes this quarter so special? Well, some 1988p Washington quarters feature a double die error. This means that the design on the coin was struck twice, causing parts of the design to appear doubled or shifted. The error happens when the die used to mint the coin becomes misaligned, so instead of just striking the design once, it strikes it again but slightly off-center. On a regular 1988p Washington quarter, you'll see the design clearly defined. But on a double die error coin, parts of the design will appear faintly duplicated. The doubling might be subtle, but it can be noticed with a magnifying glass. And in some cases, it's bold enough to make the coin incredibly valuable. Rarest coins. So, how can you identify a 1988p double die Washington quarter? Here are the key things to look for. 1. The date. Start by looking at the date on the obverse. On a regular 1988p quarter, the 1988 should be sharply struck with clear, crisp numbers. But on a double die error, the numbers in the date will appear doubled, with one part of each digit slightly shifted from the other. For example, you might see a shadow effect or a faint duplicate outline of each digit. The doubling will typically show up at the top or bottom of the digits in the date. Rarest coins. 2. The word Liberty. Next, check the word Liberty at the top of the obverse. On a regular coin, the letters will be well defined, but on a double die error, the letters may appear doubled, with faint duplications visible at the top or bottom of each letter. 3. The inscription "In God We Trust." The "In God We Trust" inscription is another area to examine. In some error coins, the words might appear doubled, but the effect is usually less pronounced than on the date or. Still, it's worth checking, especially if you see any shadowing or duplication in the lettering. 4. The mint mark. The mint mark, the P on the reverse, can also show signs of doubling, but this is much rarer. Sometimes, a second P mint mark will appear faintly next to the original one, which increases the rarity and value of the coin. 5. Use a magnifying glass. This is the most crucial step. The doubling on a double die,